Now to the crisis in the Middle East. The conflict between Israel and Iran is intensifying tonight. Iran struck back at Israel for its attacks on Iranian nuclear and military sites. Iran's UN ambassador said 78 people were killed and more than 300 injured in the attacks by Israel. Meanwhile, the IDF reported 21 people were hurt. Multiple sites were hit during Iran's counterattack. Here's a live look now at Tel Aviv, where it is now just after 6 a.m. Saturday morning. We have team coverage of this evolving story. Derek Waller covering local reaction to this conflict. Let's begin here in studio. Dick Brennan with the very latest on those strikes, Dick.
Well, Christine, missiles continue to fly between Israel and Iran as we enter the second day of the conflict. Israel says this could go on for days more, and each side now says the other will pay a heavy price. Meantime, anxiety grows around the world. Warning sirens again sounded in Israel as Iran launched another round of retaliatory strikes early Saturday. Just outside Tel Aviv, a rescue operation was underway after an Iranian missile struck an apartment building. The Israel Defense Forces said their Iron Dome system intercepted most of the missiles, but a number of injuries were reported in Tel Aviv, where multiple sites were hit during Iran's counterattack.
It's important to understand they're firing at our civilians. We're firing at their nuclear infrastructure and the people involved in the nuclear infrastructure.
But Iran has warned that the gates of hell will open, and people in Tehran took to the streets and chanted death to Israel and death to America. Iran's supreme leader, Ayatollah Khamenei, says the Zionist regime has made a grave error and the consequences will bring it to ruin. Israeli media reported commandos from Israel's intelligence service, the Mossad, built a drone base inside Iran and used it to strike surface-to-air missile launchers at a military base near Tehran, clearing the way for the Israeli bombing campaign. Mossad also released this video showing its soldiers on Iranian soil.
Israel's been planning this for years. The Mossad, Israel's spy agency, has really penetrated Iran to a deep degree.
Cell phone video captures the moment Israeli airstrikes hit the area around the Natanz nuclear plant, considered the regime's most significant enrichment facility. Netanyahu claimed it was destroyed. Israel also identified the homes of some Iranian military leaders, killing them in their beds.
I do think what they're trying to do is to further illustrate how the Iranian regime has lost control of their country, and the Iranian regime is no longer safe.
The U.S. insists it was not involved in the attack on Iran, but says it's aided in its missile defense.
At a minimum, obviously, as the United States always has, we will defend our ally Israel. And again, 700,000 Americans living in Israel, 40,000 troops in the region.
President Trump says he knew the attacks were in the works, but publicly he was urging Netanyahu to hold off so that the U.S. could continue to negotiate an agreement with Iran to curb their nuclear ambitions. But despite the fighting, talks with Iran remain scheduled for Sunday. Christine.
Okay, Dick, thank you for that update.